Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. So I'm on for a bit of a mass make today. So this is a challenge that's up in the Foxy Crafters group that's been set for the month of March. Originally this was a challenge set by the lovely Corey Darman on her YouTube channel, and it was to mass make for March. So it's the hashtag JJ Mass Make March. So I'll link Corey's channel down below if you want to go and check out what she's been doing. And Tracy wanted to do it, and she decided to add it as an event in her group. So it's basically to get everyone involved in a bit of mass making and to use up your stuff, which I desperately need to do. So I thought I would do a bit of that, and I thought I'd just grab some of the stuff that I have sitting around me to use. I will link the Foxy Crafters group down below, because it's a great way of being able to show the mass makes that you're doing if you'd like to join in. So that's, if you have a YouTube, you can put your video up and just make sure you use the hashtag JJ Mass Make March so that we can all find what you've done. But you can also put your photos up in the Foxy Crafters Facebook group. So I have been harvesting over the last 3 weeks a whole lot of encyclopedias. Now, I had in excess of 8 big boxes of encyclopedias hanging around my house for a good year or two. And it was hard for me to make that first rip because they were quite old and yeah. But they were encyclopedias that weren't being sold, couldn't even be given away basically. So I decided to bring them home, harvest them, and see what I could do with them. Now, the pages are absolutely beautiful. This is where my dilemma is. But, of course, I can't make something with, like, every page from that many encyclopedias. But a lot of the pages have nice little illustrations and diagrams and that I'd like to use. So I thought I'd just grab a few of them today and would get started. So I just sat down with them and reached around me and grabbed a few bits and pieces. So what I've grabbed is some of my scrapbook paper scraps. Some of these are from projects that I've done previously, but the bulk of them are from second-hand shops and marketplace hauls where I've got scrapbook paper. So I've got a pile of that sort of thing. I've also grabbed some Tracy labels, some Witchcraft Do You Do bits and pieces from some kits that I've used of theirs, some of my pre-stamped scrapbook page pieces, some of my own stamped labels, just random bits and pieces, and some of my scrap fabrics and that sort of thing. So just making some really simple tags and journaling cards for now. So we will get into it. So these are the types of things I have been harvesting. So they're beautiful big pages, but they're on really thin paper. So I love the pages. It's so hard to get rid of any of these, but I just can't keep them all. So, but I love these little diagrams. So that's what I've been utilising. And look at this one with the beautiful house. And then at the front and back of all the encyclopedias, you get this paper, which is nice and thick like cardstock. So I'm using that to back my journaling spots on as well. So yeah, just got a few pages with little diagrams on them. So we'll use some of those today. So I think we'll start with this house. So I've already made a whole heap, but they're not finished. So at the end, I'll show you all the ones that I've made because I'll finish them off today. But I'm really just doing a simple embellishment, putting them aside, and then I might do a bit of sewing, maybe add a tab, finish them off. Might want to add a few more bits, but if I sit and stress over them too much, they'll never get finished. So just doing a simple embellishment to start off with and putting them aside, and then I'll finish them off afterwards. And then come back on and show you what I've done. So I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you can see okay. I have my new setup that I'm testing out at the moment. I noticed there are a few shadows from my hands and that, but I've got a new desk light. and I have removed the wire rack that my iPad used to sit on, and I've now got an arm that extends over that holds onto it. So I hope it's not shaking. I've got the wire rack on the desk behind me, so I'm hoping that when I bump this desk it doesn't wobble that. Okay, so I'm just finding some of my scrapbook paper that I think might go with nicely with that. I think that goes quite nice. And then it's like, do I want this little border piece on it? So I quite like it with that little border piece. So I might keep that on there. Just grab my cutter. So yes, apologies if my setup isn't very good. I will rewatch my video back, of course, and adjust things if need be. But I did have a line of shadow from my rack that used to go across basically the middle of my desk when I was crafting. So I'm hoping that it alleviates that at least. But it is a bit of a dark, gloomy day today. It's overcast and we're having a bit of rain, so I think that's why we've got a lot of shadows from my hands. I think that looks really pretty. And then I've got to decide whether I want to keep the information. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Because sometimes I think it takes away from the feel of it to have the information. Sometimes I don't like to know that that was the home of George Washington. Sometimes I just like to look at it and go, oh, that's a beautiful house. So I think I might do that. Not that I've got anything against George Washington, just putting that out there. But yeah. Sometimes I like having the facts on there and sometimes I don't really care for them. So then we can grab a label, I think, of some description to put on that. So which ones are these? These are the more rather random mixed labels from Tracy Fox. Our terms of cash. Got so many here, I get confused as to which one I might like. I've got to whittle them down a bit, don't I? I like the date ones on these. That one's nice. Maybe we'll keep it as that. And then some fabric or some lace I think would go nice for this one. Let's get some of this eyelet lace here. Now, I tend to use glue stick for sticking the bigger pictures down on this just because it is so thin. I'm a bit worried if I use too much wet glue it will go through. I mean, the glue stick's pretty wet too, but I'm finding it's working okay for this. So I do ink around the edges just lightly. It's always a dilemma trying to find out which is the right side with this stuff. I think it's that way. I think we want it under, or do we? Depends whether we can still read the date. It definitely needs an ink. I think I cut these out with my scanning cut so they are a bit crooked and definitely need inking before they get stuck down. on top, but I might add something underneath that as well, so we'll get the lace down first. Got some scrap bits of cloth here. I don't think quite Hessian, but I do have some cheesecloth. It's not quite long enough. This looks better. Yep. Give that a fray, and then that can sit on top there. Now, I'm not sticking the back on these yet because I will back them with the fly paper from the encyclopedia. Not doing that yet because I'm still debating whether to sew around some bits and pieces. So once I've done that, then I'll go and reinforce the back with the vintage fly page, and that will also make this back piece look more vintage as well. So very simple, but I really like that. So if it has the word up the top in big writing, sometimes I'll use that and put it onto a label or something maybe. Or we've got the word cyclamen there, so I might even cut that out and use it. Which I think I will for this one. Now I always cut really crooked, so this is where I go over and just try and neaten things up a little bit. And then I decide whether I want to keep the information or not. Probably not. I mean, I can still use it, but I'm going to chop it off for now. I know I won't use that little bit that says where it came from, but I might use the information, not sure. So then we want to find some beautiful, well, not beautiful because some of this cardstock I can't stand, but do you have that? It's nice to use it up. Quite like this greenish one. What's on the other side? The blue. Don't mind that. Don't mind that either. I think I'll stick to that. So we might make this one into a tag. So I don't do these to any particular size or anything. It doesn't really bother me. Hopefully it's straightish. It looks straight-ish, I think. Now, we do have Tracy's nature definition labels. I don't know if I want to use one of them. Let's have a look. That's tree. Sort of depends on the colour, because that colour's quite nice. That's botanise, but it has to be a word that sort of goes with. Brown would be alright too. Botany. Brown probably even goes better. Might do that. And then we're just got to decide whether we want anything else. We'd put a tab on. We can make it a pretty tab. I do have some lace. So I know about that one. I kind of like this. Bit of Hessian down the bottom maybe. Right, well let's get our picture inked up and put on, because we know we want that. Now with this it definitely needs cutting down. So cut it about there. And it needs some fraying. Just love the look of Hessian when you fray it. Looks really cool. I could stick cyclamen on that. I'll worry about that afterwards. Let's get this done first. I'll cut this down a little bit. Okay, we'll stick that on. Now what I might do is just ink just around this bit before I stick the Hessian on, because I won't be able to do it afterwards. I'm not inking the rest because we've still got to stick backing on and everything. But I know I won't be able to get to this bit under the Hessian very well. So I'll do that first. Now I want this glue. Probably should have put this down first because I'm going to nudge it under there now. But that's all right. Where there's a will, there's a way. And my last name is Williams, so there's a wheel. That is really poor. But I just had to go there. Anyway, sorry. I need to use my fingies for this. Get under there. It's not working, Ma. And it doesn't matter if it goes over the top a bit of that anyway. It just looks good with the hessian over the top. Let's put it up a bit. There, that'll do. Just stick it down. Stick that down. Okay, one little word. So we might put it up a bit. So do we want that on anything? Put some lace on top of there too, which I don't mind. I thought I would. I'll ponder that in a minute. One thing at a time. Actually, let's cut that off there. I'll put that down there, why not? And then I was thinking, might do that. Get on there. So I will find a tab for this when I decide where and if I'm going to sew around it. I will sew a tab on before I show you. Probably be nice with a hessian tab to match, but we will see. Might find some pink material or something to go with it. I might do that one, which is, it says black locust. Oh yeah, that is a tree. Just move these out of the way. Okay, what are we going to put this on? This is nice for the trees, although it is Aussie tree related, but that doesn't matter. What is that? Got a thinner piece here. I'll just use that up. So I think we'll use this title. See about the information. be good to keep the information because the picture has numbers on it and this relates to those numbers. And the title, so it would want to be a bit of a long tag to fit all the bits on. So we'll just cut a little bit of it off. So I've got it upside down. And so maybe like that. And then I think we'll grab something from which craft do you do for this one? And I'm loving using there. Oh, these are nice too. Oh, botany, that would be nice. We'll see. That would be nice too, but it's huge. The other thing I've enjoyed using is their little specimen. I think this is from their specimen slides. These little specimen labels. Would be able to fit one of them on easy, so probably end up using one of them. Okay, so again, ink. So I definitely want these pieces on here. We don't necessarily need, unless we put that, which we could put that down the bottom there. Could do something like that. And then I've got this, which I love, with this coloured card. So we could do a tab with this, but we could also put some under, although that would be difficult too, maybe. Oh, just go for it. That would look all right. All right, so we're going to stick that onto some other cardboard first. And that can go on there. crooked, but that's all right. It will survive. Unless I can shift that. No, I will never hope in shifting that. Oh, I'm going to break that. Don't do that. Leave it. All right, now put a little specimen on. And we might use these fibres underneath. Since they're there, can trim them down afterwards. Or should I trim them first? And no, I'll trim them after. Just separate them a bit. Them a bit after. Get this stuck down. Oh, I found some more. It's not too bad. All right. All right, and then we can use a bit of this as a tab as well once we've put the backing on, I think, in some form, probably. So that is that one. So I think that will do. So what I have is a big pile here of my mass-made pieces. I now need to go decide which bits I want to sew. So I'm going to go do that, add any more little bits that I might like. And then we'll come back and go through all the ones we've finished. I've been back and forth for the day finishing off my journal cards and tags in between doing household chores. So this is the first one that I've done. Now my bobbin ran out twice, or was it 3 times? It ran out of the brown thread up here. And then there was a little bit of brown thread still left on it, which I thought I could finish it off with, but it was a few bits of brown thread that were left on it, so it ran out again here. But I thought that's all right, because some people actually pull the thread and make a loop and sew over it just to make it look messy. So I thought I would leave it and not to worry so much. So there's that one. So I did back it. I've backed them all with the fly page. And it's made them a lot more sturdier and given it a nice vintage look. And I've inked around the edges of them all and just done some corner rounding. So that one's just got a bit of vintage lace. A bit of book page there. And then I did this one, which is a biplane. So all the pictures, the illustrations are from the encyclopedia pages. Tracy label. Just a bit of hessian there. That's just a little journaling card. This is a journaling card. I was actually going to add some ribbon to that, which I might when I find my bag of ribbon. So that's just got a bit of washi tape under the name there. I've just sewn around it and added a little bit of lace. Then I've got some tags and I just added fabric toppers. I just looped some of the thread that I had hanging around from my brown stitching. Just stuck it down and then I zigzagged over the top of that one. I sewed the tab on. That's Witchcraft Do You Do specimen label. And that's one of my own stamped images there, and I just sewed around that so it stands out a bit more. It's amazing what a difference it makes just to sew some bits. It's another tag. I think, did we do that one together? No, we didn't. That's one of my hand stamped labels. I have a whole lot of these stamp labels. They didn't turn out very good, but rather than throw them out, I'm trying to use them here and there. So I've used one of them here and just stuck the flower name and that on there and information. Bit of zigzag and straight stitch. Another one with the specimen label. We did that one together. I remembered that. I think we did this one too with the house. I love that picture. Tracy label. I know you're meant to cut this end of the scrapbook paper off, but I quite like having it on there for these journaling cards. So I really love that. With a bit of lace, very simple, but with the rounded corners, and that it turned out really nicely. This white lily, just simple, bit of lace on that one. Just really like the scrapbook paper behind it. This one with the least turn. I think that was Which Craft Do You Do number there. Although I could be wrong. And that's just an offcut of some, I think it's lace from a shirt. Just some of my blue vintage lace there. And then I still have on my desk from making some sewn themed items, some of my old tape measure. So I just cut a little bit of that off. It was blue, so I thought it would work. Put that on as well, a bit different. The cyclamen, we did that one together with the hessian and the lace on. And I have some ribbon. It was good. I was just grabbing stuff on my desk that I haven't packed up for yonks. I had some really old ribbon that come off of something. And I just stitched that on. The Valerian, that was hand stamped on a bit of old book page. Just a bit of lace. This birch one. So that's just got some cheesecloth. Just a bit of stitching. Very simple. And I stitched everything before I put the backing on so that the stitching didn't go through the backing. So there's a lot more room to write in that. Then the last one is this one, Wander. So that's a word from the Words Digital from Which Craft Do You Do? And one of their little numbers there. A beautiful bit of lace there. So I love them. Very simple, but a great way to use those bits and pieces that I harvested from my encyclopedias that I didn't want to see go to waste. And I've made a start on some nice colourful bits that I can put in future journals. So I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, drag out some of your stuff and get doing some mass making. Remember to use the hashtag JJ Mass Make March. And check out the videos that I'll link below from Tracy and Corey as well. That might give you some more inspiration. There's been a whole lot of people that have been giving it a go. So yeah, type the hashtag in and see what comes up. Take care of yourselves, be good, and I will see you again soon. Bye.